begin by invoking blessings of Guru and Gauranga by offering the pranama mantra and also a, uh, a special bhajan glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. So now let's sing this special bhajan called Sachitanaya Ashtakam, which are 8 verses glorifying Sachitanaya, Sachimata, that is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mother's name, Sachidevi. Tanaya means child, Sachimata's child. Who's that? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sachitanaya Ashtakam, 8 verses glorifying the beloved child of Sachimata, Lord Chaitanya. And this is composed by whom? This is composed by a very great scholar who was the incarnation of Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the spiritual master of the Devatas. Devatas like Indra, Chandra, their spiritual master is Brihaspati. He incarnated as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. And he composed these 8 verses. So please join me in offering. It's a very wonderful opportunity to reflect on the meanings of these verses composed by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Ujjvala Gauravarade Vilasita Nirabadhi Bhavani Deham Ujjvala Gauravarade Vilasita Nirabadhi Bhavavideham Tribhuvana Pavana Kripayalesham Tribhuvana Pavana Kripayalesham Tam Pranamami Cha Sri Sachitanayam Tam Pranamami Cha Sri Sachitanayam Gadgada Antara Bhava Vikaram Durjana Tarjana नाद विशालम गद्गद अंतर भाव विकारम दुर्जन तर्जन भा नाद विशालम भव भय भंजन कारण करुणम भव भय भंजन कारण करुणम तं प्रणमामि च श्री सचितनयं तं प्रणमामि च श्री सचितनयम् अरुणाम्भरधर चारुकपोलम् इन्दुविनिन्दित नखचयरुचिरम् अरुणाम्भरधर चारुकपोलम् इन्दुविनिन्दित नखचयरुचिरम् जल्पित निज गुण नाम विनोदम् जल्पित निज गुण नाम विनोदम् तं प्रणमामि च श्री सचितनयम् तं प्रणमामि च श्री सचितनयम् विगलित नयन कमल जलधारम् भूषण नवरस भाव विकारम् विगलित नयन कमल जलधारम् भूषण नवरस भाव विकारम् गतियति मंतर नृत्य विलासम् गतियति मंथर नृत्य विलासम् तं प्रणमामि च श्री सचितनयम् तं प्रणमामि च श्री सचितनयम् चंचल चारु चरण गति रुचिरम् मंजीर रंजित पदयुग मधुरम् चंचल चारु चरण गति रुचिरम् मंजीर रंजित पदयुग मधुरम् चंद्र विनिंदित शीतल वदनम् चंद्र विनिंदित शीतल वदनम् तं प्रणमामि च श्री सचितनयम् तं प्रणमामि च श्री सचितनयम् धृतकटिदोर कमण्डलुदण्ड दिव्य कलेवर मुंडित मुंडम धृतकटिदोर कमण्डलुदण्ड दिव्य कलेवर मुंडित मुंडम दुर्जन कल्मष खंडन दंडम दुर्जन कल्मष खंडन दंडम तं प्रणमामि च श्री सचितनयम् तं प्रणमामि च श्री सचितनयम् भूषण भूरज अलकवलितम् कंपित बिंबा धरवर रुचिरम् भूषण भूरज अलकवलितम् कंपित बिंबा धरवर रुचिरम् मलयज विरचित उज्ज्वल तिलकम् मलयज विरचित उज्ज्वल तिलकम् तं प्रणमामि च श्री सचितनयम् तं प्रणमामि च श्री सचितनयम् निंदित अरुण कमल दल नयनम् आजानुलंबित श्री भुज युगलम् निंदित अरुण कमल दल नयनम् आजानुलंबित श्री भुज युगलम् कलेवर कैशोर नर्तक वेशम् कलेवर कैशोर नर्तक वेशम् तं प्रणमामि च Sri Sachitanayam Tam Pranamami Cha Sri Sachitanayam Jaya Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada Jaya Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe Jaya Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe Jai Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jai Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Vrindavan Dham Jai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai, Jai Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jai Gaura Nitai, Jai Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan Mahayagna ki jai, Shri Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya Mahaprabhu ki jai ho, Shri Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya Vaishnava Thakur ki jai ho, Shri Prabhupada ki jai ho. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I had something to share with all of you. Let me just be ready with that. So yesterday, some of us were in Navnet Center in Hayes in London, and everybody there were. This was a program organized by Indians in London. They were having a Rang Barse, a holy celebration. This is very close to Southall. About 3,000 people had enrolled for this event. So they were celebrating Holi. This is an event which falls on the same day as Gaura Purnima. In Falguna Masa, the Purnima is known as Gaura Purnima. So many important events happened on that day. That's also the day when I was hearing at least some bits of the program as auspicious because they were remembering Prahlad Maharaj, Holika, and Hiranyakashipu as a part of how this Holi came to be. And of course, the rest of the program had nothing to do with anything spiritual. It was all Bollywood numbers and applying colors, and people were just in a mode of party and some nice food and drink. We had a stall there from Akshay Patra. We had put up a stall for distributing prasadam. But yes, the occasion is of Phalguna Masa Purnami, which is Gaura Purnima, which just happened, which we just observed 2 days back, last Friday. And as a part of the celebration, we fasted till moonrise. And then the devotees would break their fast with non-grain prasadam. And the next day morning, just like the day after Janmashtami, we observe Nandotsav. Nandotsav is Nanda Maharaj's feast. So Nanda Maharaj gave a feast for Krishna's birthday the next day. So likewise, there is Jagannath Mishra feast, which means the day after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, there is devotees observe feasting the next day. That's on a Saturday. So of course, we were not in a position to have a feast here because we had to get started from 5 o'clock in the kitchen making our menu Our team was preparing lemon rice, chutney, masal vada, and sakar pongal. We made sweet pongal, and then the whole day we were busy. Yes, but anyways, coming back, it was a very memorable day in many ways. The occasion of Gaurav Purnima, as we discussed last time on who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and how he is Krishna himself and some of his childhood pastimes, uh, it is helpful to also understand about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's contributions for which he is known as Namo Mahavadanyaya. This is a prayer that was offered by who offered this prayer? Can anybody guess? Namo Mahavadanyaya. Who offered this prayer? We offer this every day while we offer the bhoga. Who composed this? Anybody? We have nearly 15 devotees here. Anybody would like to try?
Yeah, Mike, Shiva or Ganesha, or one of them. My guess, I don't know about this. Guess. That's
Lord
just
Shiva or Ganesha.
Also,
Good try, good try.
Sanatana
Yes, Sanatana Goswami is also a good try, but not the right answer.
maybe from Vedic.
Who's that? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Oh, no, not him. Who was that? Was it Delhi?
Rupa Goswami.
Balram, maybe Balram. Yeah, Balram.
Balaram. No.
Sorry, that
Namo Mahavadanyaya. Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya. Namne Gauratushe Namaha. This was offered. No, not Prabhupada.
No? Okay.
It was offered long back before. It was offered 500 years ago. And this was a prayer that was offered by this devotee in Varanasi. He offered this in Varanasi on Dashashwamedha Ghat. Even today you can go to Varanasi. There is a ghat. There are so many ghats. There is Assi Ghat there. Varanasi, Assi Ghat. One of the ghat is Dashashwamedha Ghat. On that ghat, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent 10 days instructing this devotee. And this devotee is credited to have established, understood and having Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam. Then I will not say after that.
Rupa Goswami.
Rupa Goswami. Yes. Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sopadantikam. This is Rupa Goswami. He was the prime minister of Nawab Hussain Shah's government. And then when he understood about the activities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and when he met him in person, he realized that this personality is none other than Krishna himself. And he offered a prayer saying, Namo Mahavadanyaya, saying that you're the most munificent, you're the most munificent incarnation. Namo Mahavadanyaya. Why? Because you are Krishna Prema Pradayate. You're freely distributing Krishna Prema. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Manishyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhayet yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tattvataha. So Krishna is saying how it is so difficult to understand him. He's saying Manishyanam sahasreshu. Out of many thousands of people, Manishyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhayet. Yatati siddhayet. Yatati means what? Those who are endeavoring for siddhaya, for siddhi. What siddhi? For self-realization. Those who are endeavoring for self-realization, out of thousands of those who are, hardly anybody is endeavoring for self-realization. Yesterday we were there at the holy event. Thousands of people were there. Nobody is endeavoring for self-realization there. Their endeavor is how to increase their sense enjoyment. That is their endeavor. So very hardly you find people who are endeavoring. All of you here, you're all endeavoring for self-realization. So thousands of such people. Manishyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhayet. Out of them. Yatatam api siddhanam. Out of those who are endeavoring And those who attain perfection in their endeavor, yatatam api siddhanam, kaschin mam vetti tattvataha. Tattvataha. Tattvataha means to know in truth. Hardly, kaschin mam vetti tattva. Hardly one knows me. Just knowing Krishna, that Krishna is the Supreme Person of God, it itself is a very, very rare accomplishment. Just to know that much. And then, what to talk about developing, see, one aspect is to know Krishna, and even higher than that is to engage in loving affairs with Krishna, having loving exchanges with Krishna. Krishna prema, that is even higher, that is the topmost. Somebody, it is something like, sometimes when we go to some events, especially those who are into marketing, those who are into, so they're eagerly looking for opportunities to network with people, be a part of some event wherein you can meet some very big man. So just to meet that person is it's very, very challenge, and sometimes you have to work. I remember our devotees back, they were sharing with me that to get an appointment with Amit Shah, who is the Home Minister, they had to work for so many months to actually get a small interview with him, and to speak to him and tell him something about our activities. For so many months they have to work. So the PR department, public relations department, they were sharing about how it is so hard to get access. So to have access and to meet is one level of achievement in itself. And further, to develop a loving relationship with that person, that is even more tough. You hardly get to meet that person. What to talk about having loving exchanges with that person? So that's very, very rare, very rare. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is being appreciated by Rupa Goswami. He's one of the 6 Goswamis. And he's saying, Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prema Pradayate. You're not only giving Krishna, you're giving love for Krishna. You're freely distributing love for Krishna to everybody. Everybody can have access to loving relationship with Krishna. And you're freely distributing this. Therefore, you are the most magnanimous. This is the verdict of Rupa Goswami. Krishna Prema Pradayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya, Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya. It is who is Lord Chaitanya? He is Krishna himself. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya, Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. And to him who has come with a golden complexion, I offer my respects, the circle obeisances. So this was the prayer of Rupa Goswami. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission can be appreciated when we look at Lord Krishna's advent and Krishna's mission more closely. Let me share this with all of you. Yes, here we go. Are you all able to see this? So here is Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield. They're sitting on the chariot. And Krishna is showing his Vishwarupa. And seeing the Vishwarupa of Krishna, Arjuna became terrified. He was so scared. He never knew that his dear friend is such a great personality that all the universe, all the devatas, all the asuras, the entire planetary systems, everything exists in him. He never knew that. He was shocked to understand Krishna's glories. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna very kindly revealed his position, that he is the Supreme Lord. He he showed his Vishwarupa Darshan, and he claimed that I am the Supreme Proprietor. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha mattas sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante ma Buddha bhav samanvita. I am the origin of all creation, both material and spiritual. Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. There is no truth superior to me. Krishna made these statements. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam. You must surrender unto me. Everybody should surrender unto me. Krishna made these statements. So, Krishna asserted his position as the supreme, and he demanded surrender. And there were people who thought, oh, who is this Krishna? Why I should surrender? Oh, this is too much. This person is saying I should surrender to him. He's saying everything belongs to him. No, this is. So some people were reluctant. They were hesitant to take his message wholeheartedly. They did not surrender. They thought, oh, maybe he's a great king, or maybe he's a big prince, or big, maybe have some special powers and all that. But I will not surrender to him. They were reluctant. They were hesitant. They chose to remain independent. They didn't want to become Krishna conscious. So Krishna was unhappy that people were unable to appreciate his mission, his advent. So Krishna once again incarnated. This time he incarnated as a devotee of Krishna. And that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's whole mission? He never asserted, although he is Krishna, he never asserted that he is Krishna himself. He is the Supreme Lord. He never asserted. Rather, he requested everybody. What did he request? He requested, please chant Hare Krishna. He was dancing on the streets. He was chanting and dancing with his followers, with his associates, and he was encouraging people to chant Hare Krishna. That was his mission. He just requested, please chant. You will be very happy in your life. You chant and you be happy. That was his mission. So, in this incarnation, Krishna did not demand surrender from people. He simply requested, you please vibrate Krishna's name. That's all. That's my only request. This much you do know. What is a big loss for you? Whichever position you are, you remain in that position. No need to change your social status. You don't need to change your profession. You don't need to change. No, nothing is required. You remain where you are. No problem. But you simply chant Krishna's names. Try to become a devotee of Krishna. That was his whole mission. And it is revealed that Lord Krishna, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, knew that in Kali Yuga, people are very fallen, very sinful, and they are full of demoniac tendencies. Krishna, when he advented, there were many people who challenged his supremacy, and Krishna killed them. Whoever were demoniac and who opposed Krishna's position or Krishna's plans, Krishna finished them. He killed so many asura. He killed Kamsa, he killed Putana, he killed Trinavrata, he killed Aghasura, he killed so many people, so many demons. Shishupala, Shalva, Dantavakra, Jarasandha, of course Jarasandha through Bhima. Likewise, so many of them. He killed and finished all of them because they were disturbing elements and disturbing the peace on the planet. So in this incarnation, Kali Yuga, everybody is demoniac. Why they're demoniac? Because nobody wants to surrender to Krishna. Everybody is interested in sense enjoyment. They're making grand plans for their sense enjoyment. They're absorbed in this materialistic life. So if they were to be finished, it doesn't require Krishna to come personally and kill these people. Because in Kali Yuga, they're all very, very weak and small. During Krishna's time, the demons were much, much more powerful, very powerful demons. And to kill the demons in Kali Yuga, Krishna does not have to. Krishna can just send one tsunami. He can send one tornado. He can send one famine. He can create a famine. He can create a war, and people will kill each other and finish each other. So he doesn't have to come personally to do all these things. He is coming so that he can make people. This objective of the Hare Krishna movement, the objective of our India Heritage Foundation London, which is following the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya, is that somehow help people to chant, somehow encourage people to chant the holy name of Krishna. Because when they chant the holy name of Krishna, the demonic tendencies which is there in me, we are having mixed. We are having demonic tendency, and we are also having divine tendencies mixed. Generally, demonic is more in Kali Yuga. So we are. So the whole movement is to encourage people to chant the name of Krishna, Nama Sankirtan, so that by the moment they bring Krishna on their tongue and they welcome him through their ears by hearing that vibration, all the demonic qualities in them will be wiped out. So this is the mission. This was the mission of Lord Chaitanya. In the words of Narottam Das Thakur, he sings in this beautiful bhajan called Hari Hari Bhipale. Brajendra Nandanaye Sachi Sutto Hoilo Se Brajendra Nandanaye Sachi Sutto Hoilo Se Balarama Hoilo Nitai Balarama Hoilo Nitai Dinahina Yatta Chilo Hari Name Uddharilo Dinahina Yatta Chilo Hari Name Uddharilo Tara Sakshi Jagai Madhai Tara Sakshi Jagai Madhai. So this is a verse from Hari Hari Bhipale composed by Narottam Das Thakur. So what is he saying? Brajendra Nandanaye Sachi Sutta Hoil. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He is the same Krishna who is Brajendra Nandana. He has come as Sachi Sutta. And who is Nitai? Balaram Hoilo Nitai. And then what was their mission? See how he is summarizing his mission. Dina Hina Yatta Chilo Hari Name Uddharilo. The holy name. The purpose was to deliver the most fallen. Dina Hina. Dina. Everybody is Dina. Anybody who is devoid of God consciousness, they're all Dina. They're all fallen. Dina Hina Yattha Chilo. Most lowly, most wretched people were delivered simply by the gift of Harinam, gift of the holy name. And what is the evidence? What is this you're saying? You're delivered. He delivered so many fallen people. Where is the evidence? What is the proof? Tara Sakshi Jagai Madhai. Tara Sakshi Jagai Madhai. So it is described by, there's a wonderful description in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and many other literatures like Chaitanya Bhagavata and many others, Chaitanya Mangala. There is a description about these two personalities, Jagai and Madhai. These were, they were born in they were born in Brahmana families, very first-class families. But unfortunately, these two brothers, they became rogues in the society. What were their activities? Their activities were drinking, They used to every day get drunk, and they would be hunting after women, womanizing, prostitution. This was their business. And they would create ruckus in the markets. They would go to the market and they would pick up some quarrel. So they were involved in all kinds of uh, sinful activities. So one day, this is about 500 years back, in Mayapur, Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, two exalted associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Every day we sing their names. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Nityananda. Balaram Hoilo Nitai. This is Balaram. So he and Haridas Thakur, Brahma Haridas. So Haridas Thakur, we worship him as Namachar Shila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. We offer prayers and respects to him every day as a part of our Prema Dhwani. This Haridas, he was from a Mohammedan family, but he was delivered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he and Nityananda Prabhu were given a special mission. What is the special mission? The special mission was that they should go door to door in Mayapur and request people to chant Hare Krishna. This was their mission. Who assigned this mission? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu assigned this mission. So these two, they went about the streets of Mayapur and they saw in the marketplace there was some big gathering and people are shouting, oh, 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 some big ruckus was going on. And so they asked, what is happening? They said, oh, these same two rogues, this Jagai and Madhai, they've again picked up some quarrel and they're fighting and we are fed up with these people. So then Nityananda Prabhu thought that these two people are famous as the most sinful and most wretched. What if I deliver them? If I can deliver these two brothers, then the glory of my spiritual master will spread far and wide. The glory of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will spread far and wide. This is how a disciple thinks. Nityananda Prabhu is setting such a wonderful example of how a devotee should think. How I can glorify my spiritual master. How I can spread his mission and how I can distribute his teachings far and wide. So Nityananda Prabhu is the origin of Guru Tattva. So he went and requested. He went in the middle of all that commotion. He went and spoke to them that, so my dear brothers, why don't you chant Hare Krishna? Everything will be auspicious in your life. They were disturbed. Oh, what is this Harina? What Hare Krishna? Get out from here. Get lost. So they didn't receive him very respectfully. But Nityananda Prabhu didn't give up on them. He had already made up his mind that I want to deliver this to people. So he persuaded. He pursued them and he continued to persuade them. And finally, it reached a point where they became so annoyed. They were drunken people and they couldn't appreciate what Nityananda Prabhu. What is this Harinam? Hey, get lost. Don't come here and don't waste my day. So they were drinking with a mud pot. With that mud pot, they threw on his head and he had an injury and he was bleeding. He was injured and he fell down. He was injured. This news reached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That you know what has happened? You sent Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur to go out and they came across these people and they are injured. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very, very furious. And he rushed to that spot. And immediately, there was no discussion, no questioning. He knows everything what has happened. Immediately, he invoked his Sudarshan Chakra to kill these two people on the spot. He invoked his Sudarshan Chakra. And at that time, when Nityananda Prabhu saw what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going to do, he fell at the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and requested, no, Mahaprabhu, please spare them. in this incarnation, you have taken a vow not to use any astra. You have come to deliver the fallen. You please bestow your mercy and deliver them. Please don't kill them. Nityananda Prabhu begged Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, seeing Nityananda Prabhu's behavior, because although Nityananda Prabhu was injured by Jagai Madai, he personally did not take any offense. Rather, he was pleading for their protection. He was pleading for their protection. Seeing that they were saved by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, their heart got transformed. And they fell at Nityananda Prabhu, both of them. And they asked for forgiveness. That we are very sorry about what we have done. You saved our life. Thank you so much. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that I will spare you, provided you don't indulge in any of the sinful activities from now on. Then I will spare you. Otherwise, I'll finish you. So they said, yes, we promise we will not do any of these things. Please spare us. So they begged for protection and mercy. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forgave them. And then by the blessings of Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these two brothers, they became completely purified. They gave up all their sinful activities. And they went on to become great devotees and preachers of Krishna consciousness. So this is the history of Tara Sakshi Jagai Madhai. It's the history of how the most wretched people who are violating all regulative principles, most sinful, were delivered simply by the holy name of Krishna. So we understand from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This Chaitanya Charitamrita is it deals with all the life and teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So there it is said, once when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was passing through the forest of Jharikanda, which is Jharkhand, which is near Bihar, when he was passing through the forest of Jharikanda, he was doing Sankirtan as he was walking, and the animals of the Jharikanda forest also participated in the Sankirtana. So you can see there are monkeys, there are tigers, there are deers. One tiger is hugging a deer, and monkeys are dancing, elephants are dancing. In the background, cannot see fully. So normally a deer is a prey for a tiger, and but the vibration of the holy name created such an environment that these animals forgot their enmity, and they were all maddened by the bliss of Nama Sankirtan, that they were also chanting, and they were in great ecstasy. Tigers are dancing and chanting, monkeys are dancing and chanting, deer is dancing and chanting, elephants are dancing and chanting. So these were all the wonderful pastimes that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed. He freely distributed not only to human beings, even to animals he distributed the holy name and made them chant the holy name of Krishna. This was the potency of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as he demonstrated in his life. Which is why, where is this? Yes. Likewise, it is also helpful to remember. Once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Varanasi. Varanasi is a seat of the impersonalists. The impersonalists are known as Mayavadis. They think the ultimate is Brahman. They have no understanding of the personality aspect of the absolute truth. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Varanasi, he was wherever he went, even in Varanasi also, wherever he went, he would do Nama Sankirtana. Even in Varanasi also, he was dancing. On the way to Bindu Madhava temple, there's a famous temple of Bindu Madhava temple. So he used to go there. He used to perform. He used to chant. He used to dance. And the people in the city of Varanasi were all charmed by seeing this young and very resplendent, radiant sannyasi who is so effulgent and he's so youthful, and he seems to be decorated with so many ecstasies, and he's in great bliss. He's chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So people were captivated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's beautiful voice, his bodily features, and his behavior. Their heart melted. And they also came in large numbers, thousands of people. They used to come along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They used to chant and dance. So the news spread in the whole Varanasi that one sannyasi has come and he has captured the heart of all the residents of Varanasi. And everybody is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this news spread. And these Mayavadi sannyasis were unhappy. They thought, what is this? What kind of a sannyasi is? Because they thought that sannyasi means he should be studying Vedanta Sutra, he should be studying Upanishads, he should be very grave, very sober. And what is this bhavuka, this sentimental sannyasi who is chanting, dancing, crying? And this is. So they somehow a meeting was arranged, and they asked him, my dear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why you are doing all these things? You are a sannyasi. You should be more serious in your life. You should study Vedanta and you should discuss Vedanta. What is this? This is not life of sannyasi. So then he said, my dear brothers, when I met my spiritual master, who is the spiritual master? Who is the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? This is a question to all of you.
Iswarpuri.
Who was that?
He
Sorry,
met in Gaya, Bihar.
I'm not sure who is speaking. This is Jyoti Ranjan.
Yes, bro.
Yes. Anybody else would like to answer this question? Who is the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Prashant. Prashant, are you there? Prashant has joined from Canada, but I think he's sleeping.
No, Prabhu, I'm awake. I was listening very consciously. I was listening very carefully.
बहुत ठंड लग रही है क्या? Yes. So, as Jyoti Ranjan mentioned, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual master is Ishwarpuri. So he recalls, when I met my spiritual, it's important to know, before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he was known as Nimai Pandit. He was renowned. He was very, very famous as Nimai Pandit. He was a great scholar, and he had defeated many, many scholars. There was one Keshava Kashmiri. He was a Big Vijay Pandit. That means Big Vijay means he had conquered 10 directions, and he was very proud of his learning. And when he came to Mayapur, he was defeated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so everybody knew this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Nimai Pandit, is not an ordinary person. He's a very great scholar. So this sannyasis is very curious. This person is actually a very great scholar. We know about him. He's Nimai Pandit. But now why has he become like this? So then he shares. When I met my spiritual master, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took a very humble position. And he said, he doesn't have to go to any spiritual master. He is Lord himself. But he is teaching by his example. When he went to when he met his spiritual master, Ishwarpuri, so his spiritual master said that the most important duty for you You might have read so many scriptures, you might have read so many shastra, you may be very expert in nyaya, logic, in tarka, this and that. That's all right. That is not your most important duty is to chant Hare Krishna mantra. So my guru told me that I should chant mantra, Hare Krishna mantra. So I started following. My Guru Maharaj told me, so I started following. Then as I started chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, I started developing great attachment to Krishna, great love for Krishna. And I started becoming mad after Krishna. And I don't know why, but I started to develop a great ecstatic feelings. There are tears coming from my eyes, and I'm so much missing Krishna. And I always want to hear about Krishna and chant his holy names constantly. My voice becomes choked out of intense attachment to Krishna. So all this transformation started developing in me. And I was wondering, what is this? What is going on? So I went back to my spiritual master. Then I asked him, Kiba mantra dila Gosai, my dear Gosai, my dear spiritual master, what mantra have you given me? Kiba mantra dila Gosai, japite japite mana pagala hoya. Just by chanting this mantra, my mind has become mad. What kind of mantra have you given me? So he shared with his spiritual master that this mantra that you have given me, after chanting this symptoms has happened. I don't know what is this. So then after hearing all this, Ishwara Puri was very pleased. And he said, my dear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have developed the fruit of this chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, which is Krishna Prema. You have achieved Krishna Prema. So you're very, very blessed and very, very fortunate. Your human life is all successful. So now that you have developed this Krishna Prema, you distribute this Krishna Prema to everyone you meet. You freely distribute. This is the ultimate perfection of all Vedic knowledge. This is Vedanta. The whole purpose of going through all Vedic literature, as Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, what is he saying? Vedaishcha sarver aham eva vedyaha vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. 15.15 Krishna is saying. Vedaishcha sarver aham eva vedyaha. The whole purpose of all reading all the Vedic literature, Vedaishcha, all you may be studying Upanishad, you may be studying Purana, you may be studying Itihasa. Ultimately, after learning all these scriptures, if you don't come to the conclusion of surrendering to Krishna and developing love for Krishna, your study of Vedic knowledge is useless. Vedaishcha sarver aham eva vedyaha vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. So Ishwara Puri said, you have attained the success of all Vedic studies because you have developed Krishna Prema. So your life is very successful. I'm so happy. You please go and distribute this everywhere. Make everybody chant and you distribute. Give them also Krishna Prema. So this is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sitting with all the sannyasis in Varanasi. So he explained why he was chanting and dancing. So then they were very pleased to hear about this, about what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained. And then later on, of course, the conversation goes about how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains to them about Vedanta Sutra in a different way that was never before heard by these people. And they all become very convinced about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's presentation of Vedanta Sutra, and they surrender unto him. 70,000 sannyasis, they became disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Their leader, Prakashananda Saraswati, he surrenders, and along with him, all the sannyasi disciples, 70,000 of them, they surrender. So like this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wherever he went, he made more and more followers, made more and more people chant Hare Krishna mantra. So therefore, because of all the activities that he performed and he demonstrated, because he was very freely giving the most valuable treasure of Krishna Prema, most valuable treasure. It is something like not everybody can buy a diamond because they're very expensive. You need to be very wealthy to buy diamonds. So in a diamond shop, you'll not find so many people like in a fish market. Fish market, anybody can go and buy fish. But diamond, that many people will not come. Why? Because the commodity is very, very precious. Only a few people can buy. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the most precious commodity to everyone, even to animals he gave. This is why he is regarded as the most munificent. Lord Chaitanya is Namo Mahavadanyaya. And because of this special qualification of Krishna's most munificent incarnation, Mahaprabhu, so Lochandas Thakur is singing, Param Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra Param Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra Sava Avatar Sarashiromani Saba Avatar Sarashiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda Kevala Ananda Kanda Kevala Ananda Kanda Dekho re bhai Tribhuvane na Imona doyala data Dekho re bhai Tribhuvane na Imona doyala data Pashupakhi jhure Pashana vidare Pashupakhi jhure Pashana vidare Shuni Jandra Guna Gatha Shuni Jandra Guna Gatha Shuni Jandra Guna Gatha Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra Nitai Gaura Chandra Nitai Gaura Chandra. So Lochandas Thakur is saying these two lordships, Nitai Gaur Chandra, Nitai Gaura. You can see them standing like this. When they're standing like this, they're indicating they're actually dancing. They're dancing. Krishna Balaram are dancing. They are so merciful. Saba Avatara Tara Shiromani. Of all incarnations, they are the most merciful. How are they most merciful? Because they introduced a method of self-realization, which is so simple, so blissful. You don't have to pinch your nose and stand on one leg and go to Himalayas. No, that all is not possible for anybody in this Kali Yuga. People are very, very fallen. They are completely very disturbed with so much of anxieties. None of those processes are possible in this Kali Yuga. Therefore, they have introduced a process which is very joyful, very simple. Everybody can participate. This is called Yuga Dharma. Yuga Dharma means the process which everybody can participate. Not that it is only meant for one section of people. Others cannot. Majority people cannot participate. No. Yuga Dharma means everybody. Child also can participate. Child also can do Sankirtan. There is no difficulty. And this is the process. Chanting, dancing, feasting. This is Krishna consciousness. This is the process. Who introduced? Nitai Gaur introduced. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced. Therefore, they are Saba Avatar, Sara Shiromani. They are the Shiromani. They are the crest jewel of all incarnation. And then Lochandas Thakur is saying that Dekho ore bhai, Tribhuvane nai. Oh, my dear brothers, please see this carefully. In all three worlds, there is nobody more merciful. Why? He's saying Pashupaki jure Pashana vidhare. Pashupaki, the Pashu, beasts, Pakhi, Birds, they are crying. Pashana, stone, is melting by hearing the merciful qualities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is these are all the wonderful descriptions given by various acharyas who have very closely examined the life and teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And before we close, let us witness some wonderful celebrations of Gaura Purnima that ever happens on this planet. And this is in ISKCON Bangalore. And we are all very blessed to behold these wonderful festivities, and hope that we will also be able to come together and observe similar celebrations.
Udilo aruna purabo bhage dvijamani goraya moni jage. Udilo aruna purabo bhage dvijamani goraya moni jage. ভকত সমূহালইয়া সাথে গেলা নগর ব্রাজে। ভকত সমূহালইয়া সাথে গেলা নগর ব্রাজে। উদিল আরুণ পুরাব ভাগে দ্বিজমনি গৌরায় মনি জাগে। তাথৈ ভজলো খোল ঘন ঘন তাহে ঝাঁঝের রোল। তাথৈ বাজলো খোল ঘন ঘন ঝাঁঝের রোল। প্রেমে ঢল ঢল সোনার রঙ্গ চরণে
gorgeously decorated, very special flowers, garlands. And all the while, devotees blissfully chanting, dancing. These are all the grand arrangements for Abhishek.
মাধব যাদব হরি বলে না বলো রে বদনে ভরি। মুকুন্দ মাধব যাদব হরি বলে না বলো রে বদনা ভরি। মিছে নিরে বসে গেল রে রতি দিবস শারীরে সাজে। মিশে নির বসে গেল রে রতি দিবস শারীরে
Jaggery water, honey. A dry fruit garland from both of them.
কৃষ্ণ নাম সুধা করিয়া পান জুড়াও ভকতি বিনোদা প্রাণ। কৃষ্ণ নাম সুধা করিয়া পান জুড়াও ভকতি বিনোদা প্রাণ। নাম বিনা কিছু নাহি কো আরো চৌদা ভুবনা মা কিছু নাহি কোয়ার 14 ভুবন মাঝে উদিল আরুণ পুরাব ভাগে দ্বিজমণি গৌরায়ামনি জাগে উদিল আরুণ পুরাব ভাগে দ্বিজমণি গৌরায়ামনি জাগে দ্বিজমণি গৌরায়ামনি জাগে দ্বিজমণি গৌরায়ামনি জাগে.
Yes. So very wonderful celebrations which devotees are having year after year. So with that, seeking the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, seeking the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, who has very kindly distributed the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the whole world. Gauravani Pracharine. That was Srila Prabhupada's mission, to distribute the whole the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the same line, all of us can receive very easily this the blessings of this golden avatar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by very simple, by following very simple activities which Prabhupada has very kindly given, starting with the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. So let us proceed with chanting 108 times the Hare Krishna mantra. Then after that, if anybody has any comments, any questions, you can feel free to share. Oh, I think I need to open this window. Yeah, it's here.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
So that was 108 times the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. If anybody has any questions or any comments, feel free to share.
I have a question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Very well. I read somewhere that the Krishna consciousness movement will inundate the entire universe.
Okay.
Am I correct in thinking that? I heard that it's going to
Yes,
spread
Prabhu.
all over the world, well, not just over the world.
Yes,
But
yes. This is the prophecy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where he says, "Prithvi te ache yet nagaradi grama, sarvatra prachara hoibe mora nama." So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted. In fact, when we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, we are actually worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As the Bhagavatam says, Yagnair Sankirtanair Prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedasaha. Yajanti means to worship. The intelligent people, they worship the Supreme Lord who was advented as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How? Yagnair Sankirtanair Prayer, by performing Nama Sankirtana. So actually by doing this Sankirtana, this japa and this chanting and this congregational chanting of the holy name. We're actually worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prithve te ache, yatanagaradi grama. Every town and village will chant. Sarvatra prachara hoibe mora nama. Everywhere they will be chanting of my holy names. This is Krishna's holy names. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is talking about how this movement will spread and reach every town and village on this planet. So there's a very clear prophecy, and that will come true within the in the 10,000 years from the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birth. So we are just about close to about 550 years from his birth, and we can already see how the Krishna Nama has spread. Prabhupada took the message, took the mantra, took it all over the world in established centers in many important places, and then the disciples are now taking it further. So this will continue, and it will reach, it will inundate. That's confirmed by Prabhupada on the prophecies. Prabhupada mentioned this many times, that this will happen.
Is that over the whole universe as well, like not just this planet?
This verse refers to Prithvi, which refers to this planet. About the universe, I'm not sure. Maybe there are references I'm not aware of. But during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, there were many devatas who had also incarnated to participate in his pastimes from all over the universe. And specifically, if you're asking about whether this will spread all over the universe, I'm not aware of that.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhu, just like Lord Rama had his own physical depiction, right? He had his hand very long, the Lord had, and the eyes and all those things are depicted, right? I mean, it has been described. So, I mean, for Lord Chaitanya, it has been described like he was golden complexion. What else was there?
So it is said he also had very long arms up till his knees, and he was very tall personality and quite well built. So it is described like we sang today, the Ujjvala Varana, how his tilak was, how he would be shaven head, he would have a shikha, he would have a water pot. So these things are all described in the scriptures, how he would walk, how he would talk, how he would associate with devotees, how he used to associate with those who were demoniac and those who would challenge. So his life and activities are described in great detail by the acharyas in these books like Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mangala. How he would get completely lost when he would hear the names of Krishna, when he was performing Sankirtana, how he would be so enthusiastic to perform Sankirtana. So you can get a great detail about this personality, what his desires were, how he would spend his day, how he would guide his disciples. So so this itself is that's why the book is called as Chaitanya Charitamrita, and there are 3 volumes, Adi, Madhya, and Antya, which describes in great detail about this incarnation, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Prabhupada translated that into English.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I think it's in 2012 when we were going to 11 or 12. We were going to Mayapur, and in the train while journey, one folk boy, one or other folk boys used to I mean, continuously they will be reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and I think we had finished it. So, but that was very long time, so that's why I thought of like refreshing it.
Yes, we should have. I mean, these are occasions for us to. We are now going through Bhagavad Gita, and in between, when we have some festival occasions, we are recollecting their past. But yes, it will be wonderful to have a separate discussion on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, his teachings, and have continuous sessions on that. Devotees coming together and discussing, that will be
Thank you.
very enlivening.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. We'll see you all next week. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hari.